What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counter Punch Boxing News, and I got some new news, some buzz concerning Jamal Charlo and Danny Miracle Man Jacobs. You know, the two had words, some harsh, fierce words last night after the Ortiz and Wilder fight, and you know, it's the confrontation was about, you know, of course, ducking, and Jamal has moved to 160, and he's trying to, you know, make his claim at the 160-pound division. So, you know, of course, he's doing it the only way he knows how, aggressively. You know, the Houston native is known to be aggressive and passionate about what he does. You know, and those two had words, and it was really not those two. It was things that were said to them about each other. You know, so when they finally fought, you know, Danny Jacobs is, of course, he reminds me of more of like the Floyd Patterson, the more of a respectable boxer. You know what I mean? Good classmanship. Jamal is complete opposite. Jamal is one of those type of dudes. He's a savage beast. He's hungry. He's, you know, he's a force to be reckoned with. He's unapologetic. He's from Houston, Texas, the dirty South. So, you know, those are two different guys. And of course, you know, Danny Jacobs being from Brooklyn, New York, you know, it's like North versus South up in this piece. My thoughts about it, man. First off, Jamal, you know, wants to market himself. He wants to be present in the middleweight division. Nothing wrong with that. All I can say is I hope he gets what he's asking for, because one of his slogans is keep running your mouth. You know what I mean? But he tells other fighters that, but I noticed that Jamal Charlo is the kind of dude that he is very outspoken. So he says keep running your mouth, but he constantly running his own mouth. He runs his own mouth a lot. So if the fight happens with him and Danny Jacobs, I hope he gets it. But Jamal needs to really understand. And I love the passion about Jamal Charlo, because Jamal Charlo is one of those dudes like, hey, he says, forget the politics, forget the money, let's fight for the pride, let's fight for the legacy. You know, that's the type of fighters you want. That's the type of spirit you want in the boxing universe right now. You want that. You want that in the boxing universe. You don't want the reason why Canelo can't fight Golovkin, or all these fights can't happen and they call it money. It's not. You know, it has a lot to do with money. You know, and for guys that are fighting for money, you know, Mayweather exploited this to the T. I keep telling people, guys, if you look at my old videos that I dropped, you know, everyone gets that from classic textbook Mayweather. No one's fighting for legacy no more, and they should. You know, and a Jamal Charlo, you know, he's in a new division, and he wants a chance. He wants the shot. And I think Danny Jacobs, since they've had these fierce words, I think that this fight will more than likely happen later than a year. And it's better sooner than later, because Danny Jacobs, he's the man to be feared at that division. Jamal Charlo's there to make a statement in that division. Why not hook him up? Why not fight? You know, I seen, though, between that, I seen two guys trying to aggressively talk at each other and, you know, and exchange words. They were trying to get things sorted out, but their aggression was getting in their own way. And you had the annoying ass entourage of Jamal Charlo. And it really wasn't Jamal Charlo. Jamal Charlo said enough. Charlo said enough that he had to, because every word that Danny Jacobs said, he had a rebuttal right after that. It was almost like fighting words, you know what I mean? Like in the park, or like at recess or something like that, you know, or like in the alleyway. It was kind of like that. It gave you that type of, you know, vibe. But the entourage were talking the most shit, you know, calling Danny Jacobs bitches. Danny Jacobs ain't nobody's bitch, you know what I mean? And if you want to fight, be like, hey, sign the contract. Not all that woofing, you know. But hey, it's the argument back and forth, the buzz that's going on. It makes boxing exciting again, because that's what boxing is made for. It is made from guys that call out other guys, and, you know, and see if they call their bluff or see if they take the fight. you know. So that's what boxing's about, you know. And I don't. It's never going to change, and I hope it doesn't change, you know. So, but you look at a fight like Jacobs and Jamal Charlo. You know, Jamal Charlo might be looking for something that he might not be ready for right now. But that remains to be seen. So we really can't say that, because Jamal Charlo is a big, gifted, strong, hard, hungry-ass dude from Houston, Texas, that he's ready to fight with stick stones and bottles in the streets of Philly. It looked like that last night. And he talked with no fear. You know, and I like how he talked about Billy Joe Saunders. You know, and then in quote, this was his word: "I'll go over there and I'll whoop Billy Joe Saunders' ass too." I like that type of aggression. I like it. It sells fights. That attitude sells fights. Danny Jacobs is a good, upstanding, Floyd Patterson-like dude. He should be, you know, and I couldn't tell him how he should be, but the way that he is, he's a distinguished gentleman. You know, he fights with dignity. He's God-fearing. Jamal Charlo is a straight savage. You know, and he'll tell you straight up, "I want to fight you, and I'll whoop your motherfucking ass." That's how he talks. That's how he is, and that's how, you know, the contrast, you know, and they could label that fight easy. But I do want to see it happen, since now the talks have brewed, and you know, in the harsh language, and you know, and the shots have been fired. So these guys really just need to get it on. But I always said the 160 middleweight division is the best right now. It's not for 147. I mean, you know, Terrence Crawford coming to 147 does make it exciting, and makes it very interesting. But I always see 160. You know, 160, you got Canelo, Golovkin, Danny Jacobs, now Jamal Charlo. Then you have Demetrius Andrade. Nobody wants to fight that motherfucker, right? I think Jamal wanted to fight him once upon a time, and he pulled out of that fight, which that's Andrade's fault. Who else there? Billy Joe Saunders, of course. Chris Eubank Jr. will probably soon be coming back to the division, but we don't really know how credible he is. Who else is up there? You still got David Lemieux. I don't even know if Curtis Stevens has came back yet. Who else is up there? There's somebody I'm missing. Well, I'm probably missing somebody. But regardless of that, you know, that is still a stacked division. And I would love to see Jacobs take on Charlo, because somebody has to get in the ring with him. Golovkin doesn't want to get in the ring with him because he's tied up with Canelo. Canelo's tied up with Golovkin. Billy Joe Saunders, I don't know what Billy Joe Saunders is doing. But, you know, if Billy Joe Saunders wanted to test himself, he would get in there with Charlo. A gifted champion from a lower weight class, you know. And I think Charlo honestly naturally grew out of the 154-pound weight class, and so I think he's where he needs to be. But I would like to see him and Billy Joe. I like to see him and Jacobs. I like to see Jacobs and Billy Joe. I've already made a video about that. So, but yeah, the shots were fired. The entourage was heated. These guys, you know, got really emotional. I think someone got up under someone's skin. But one thing is certain, you know, the buzz has been floating all around social media about these two guys' encounter. So that fight is bound to happen, you know, sooner than later. So it was probably a good thing, you know. I remember the last fight that I seen at Berkeley's. Charlo's camp got into it with Hurd's camp. So, you know, and it was a big brawl right out there. I got footage on my Instagram. Look up Kurt DeVille Instagram. You know, you'll see the footage. And it was something to see. It was very exciting. But that's what happens when you get entourage and you get fighters. You got all this testosterone. You got all this pride. You got all this skill. You know, you got all this rivalry. You know, and these guys get in there and they, you know, and they mean business. You know what I mean? These guys don't play this shit. These guys live this for real. You know, so they're very passionate and very emotional about the sport and about how they can fight and to prove to the next person that says they're better than them that they're better than them. So, but anyway, you guys tell me what you think about the Charlo versus Jacobs controversy, and please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunched. Peace.